So I don't know if you saw her, but that was Mara, the other half of the JeffMara podcast. And she left. I don't know where she's doing. Anyways, hello everybody who's here. Uh-oh, no sound. You can hear it now? Oh, all right. Sounds like it's on. I just heard myself. I think we're okay. All right, so while you guys are there, what's with the shades? You know, I thought about wearing these today, something different. The thing is, with these glasses, now you can see me here, right? But when I wear the other glasses, sometimes I get annoyed because when I wear this, you see the glare in my glasses. So you're not really seeing my eyes anyways because it's all glared out from these glasses. I got to figure out my lighting here. My lighting's kind of messed up, so. And sometimes, a lot of times in the podcast, I'll tilt them like this. And I'll have my head down so then they don't get the glare in my eyes. So that's what but see, you can see it kind of lifted up that way, but see how you get the glare? It's really annoying. I've got to figure something out with that. Hey, Chris. So that's something I've got to work on. Thank you, Melissa. So I don't know. Well, this is kind of cool. Maybe you guys, you need to see my eyes. I don't know. You like my regular glasses. That is Laura. Okay, while I'm setting everything up, because I haven't set everything up yet, because I've always got to do this at the beginning of the video. Normal glasses as we can see your eyes. Wow, I guess everybody wants to see my eyes. Okay. Goodbye, glasses. I have to put these away then. All right, so let me set everything up. What is it? As you guys know, I haven't figured out a way to put all the stuff in the description so it's already there when I automatically do it. We got turn it on, log on, whatever. Kind of go back and have to change the Zoom one. I don't know, it might still work, but I might as well, not the Zoom, but Discord. Get a brand new Discord link. Where is Discord? It's got to turn it on. So, talk about it in a second. Give me one. Where's Discord? Where are you, Discord? John Scott is here. Wow, maybe we'll get John as our first guest. I can't see right second though, John. I'm just trying to get this all sorted out, and I'll check out what you wrote in a minute. Adjust the camera. Okay. Let me get this so I can put the link, the invite link. Copy. Copied. Paste. Okay, that is there. I've got to tell everybody this is a live stream. Gotta put a few things here. I think I will be ready. Merlin's here. All right. So we are all ready to get our reading. And as I was gonna say this, and I'll tell you later. Just as every NDE is different for every person, I think every person or generalities of people respond to NDEs differently. Almost every NDE, I'll see someone say, "Hey, that was my favorite NDE," and so I had one of the coolest. I recorded one of the coolest NDEs I've had today. It was me, it really resonated with me. And basically, this lady was telling us that we're all living in a simulation, and she saw her pod just like the Matrix. And it's not often that I'll hear about NDEs where they're in a room, right? And I think if you guys, that are along this spiritual journey with me that watch all these videos regularly, you will hear that it's not uncommon for people to say that they're in a room, they wind up in a room, and maybe there's a door or something. So I'll tell you more about it. It was fascinating for me. So Merlin's here. Let's get started. What was I saying? He says your PC screen black. Check the front of the base and then adjust your camera towards my face. My camera's a little bit high. My whole situation's crazy here. I'm in a temporary living situation. It's like managing chaos. It's not, my setup is not right, but I'm just waiting till I move, and then I'll fix all my setup and everything finally. My camera's there, and I guess because it's looking down, maybe that captures it. I don't know. See if I tilt that or I look down or what. And my regular glasses, which my vision has changed, I guess I could put these on. I can read good. What's cool about these lenses is, well, these lenses basically don't really pick up much reflection, but I can't see with them as well. So thank you, John, for that. And there's already 113 people. I had a feeling, I've been talking to a lot of people this week, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of people showing up today to the Saturday night live stream, but I'm not, I can't guarantee that.
Hello.
Merlin, are you there?
Hey,
are you with
here.
us?
I think I am.
You are here. Are you in 3D or are you in 5D? Projecting a hologram to us.
All of above.
All of the above. All right. So what cards are you using today?
Well, it depends. Like, what do people say? Do they want? What's the comments say? Do they want Angel deck or the Alice in Wonderland?
Okay, guys, you have to decide. Do you want the Angel deck or the Alice in Wonderland? All right, I could probably do that, but then I'm going to have to reset my camera, so I might have to wait in between guests there, John. So it's going to take about 30 seconds because I think that's about what the delay is till we get, people answering that.
Are you drinking coffee too or something?
No, I've got chai. I've got 3 angels in a row so far.
3 angels. Okay. 3 angels so far.
4 angels. Everybody wants the angel deck.
Okay.
So angel it is. 5. Man, angels, that's pretty interesting. And I didn't realize that, it's like unanimously angel deck.
They have spoken. Okay, like I did before.
All right.
I'm gonna draw 3 from the top.
Okay.
Can y'all? I don't think y'all could see as good.
Can you pull yourself a little closer so you're a little louder?
Closer. Okay. Can y'all still see the cards or?
Yeah, I think it. It's most importantly is when you hold them up and show them. That's the deal. All right, guys. Right. So as you know, he's going to put 3 piles down. You have to choose 1, 2, or 3.
Correct. And then I will clarify these. So I'm going to clarify the first one. First card, please. First card.
Okay.
First card. First. Clarifier. Put that kind of right there. Clarify 2, please. Clarify 2.
So when you mean clarify, well, yeah, your clarification. That's what it means.
Yes, sir. Okay. Clarify.
And we've got the numbers coming up. 1, 2, and 3, and 1.
Clarify number 3, please. I got two fill up. This one came out first. Okay, I got one that fell in my lap. But I'm going with one that came out first. All right. Okay,
All
here
right.
we go.
Let's see what we got this week.
Okay, I'm gonna give them like 10 seconds. Ooh. All right, I think that's about enough time. All right, so the first card for those that chose one, which is this side on me, looks like my right to you guys. That's my left. Is the wheel.
The wheel.
This is
Archangel
very good.
Michael.
Oh yeah, the wheel is great. That means a lot of you have been down your luck, and it's starting to turn around because what goes around comes around, sort of thing. So if you're on the bottom, you're going to be around the top soon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the clarification is for Michael is.
All right.
It's 3 of air. Oh wow. Okay. Relationship. So a lot of you have a broken heart, and this is your time to heal. So you may be down, depressed right now, but because of the wheel, you're going to be feeling a lot better. You're going to get through these times, and you're going to feel, like it takes a while to get over these things, as you know, but you will walk again.
So that's really positive. Let me ask you something real quick. How many cards are in the deck?
This is a 78, but usually there are some tarot decks out there that don't have a full 78, but a traditional tarot deck is 78 cards. Now, the angel deck has a full 78. So yeah, 78 is what it's supposed to be. But then you have oracle cards as well. And those typically range between like 40 and 45, something like that, usually.
All right, one more question, and this is like a tarot school for me. Every week I pick a little bit more out from your brain. Are there, 78 different cards in the set, or are some of the cards repeating?
No, there's a suit. There's a whole suit of the same type of, like the wands, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got one sword, coins, and cups, right? So those have like typically you will have 10 or something like that, and of each suit, right? And there's a major and minor. Majors are the most important and most powerful events that occur in your life, and the minors are just like the Knight of Wands. Okay, that's a minor. Now the majors are like anywhere like Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, the Magician, like the Wheel. The Wheel is a major. Okay, major Arcana card.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I hope you didn't hear that notification go off. Okay. For those of you who chose pile 2, you got 6 of coin, 6 of earth, guys. 6 of coin. That means a lot of you that are having a good luck with your money. It's good to give back, because whatever you give back comes back to you. But I'll read the description for you. Gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off debt. Okay, so this is good. You're gonna have money in your pocket, and you can see the weight. Look at the scale. This is also about balance, well, but also make sure you give if you can. Now, if it will make it where you can't pay some bills off, obviously use your logic in this. But if you can give back even a little bit, it's good to do so, because it'll come back to you. Now, with the 6 of earth, the clarification card is the 6 of fire, which is a celebratory type of card. Okay, this usually indicates some kind of victory in some aspect or area in your life. All right, so I'll read the description for you. It says victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. This is good. This is good energy so far, guys. Yeah, you're gonna have enough money to even give to people if you can, and you're gonna celebrate in victory. That's to dumb it down to condense it, make it easy, but Barney style it for y'all. I don't want to go into detail. I could, but okay. So if you got pile 3, you got the star, but it was in reverse. Okay, but even if you get the star, guys, in reverse, that is still a good card to get. The star is a major. It's one of the major arcana cards. Okay. if it was in the upright, it says happy times make positive, optimistic, long-term plans on the right path. Also, a lot of people don't notice that the main star is an 8-pointed star, signifying the star of Ishtar, okay, or Inanna so it's a Venus type of power too as well. A lot of people haven't talked about that. The main star in traditional tarot is 8-pointed. It's very interesting. Not a lot of people discuss that.
You said it was the. You said it's the star of Ishtar.
Yes, Ishtar.
What is
Ishtar.
that?
She's a goddess. Ishtar. She's a goddess of Venus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
never
but
heard that.
they call her Astarte, Inanna, all kinds of different names. Or Aphrodite is also referred to as the ruler of Venus as well, goddess. So, but they're all under the same. They're all the same being, just different names. So it's still the same source of energy. So it's still good. It's just wanting you to know, it's wanting you to pay attention in your. I'm getting it's like wanting to pay attention in your life, and if you're not making the best choices right now, but this is bring awareness of your life. Detail it. Are you making the right decisions? Because this is a positive. Either or. Even if you face something bad, it could be teaching you a lesson to get back on the right track. That's what I'm getting. Also, you got to look at that 7 of water with the star in reverse. Look at that 7 of cups. Sorry. You can see all the different cups. It means this is signifying that you have a lot of decisions to choose from each cup. So this is telling you to make a decision, okay, right now, because a lot of you may be juggling multiple, ideas or different directions to go. This is calling you to make a decision, but make the wisest decision. Okay, make one that's most productive and fruitful. Okay, and like I said with the star, if you may be, even if you go through something bad, it's going to get you in the right direction. This could be indicating that too, because if some people might choose the wrong cup, and they'll learn from it. From what I'm getting here.
So it's the first 2 were really good. Then the second one was kind of mixed, maybe. I mean, the third one.
So. That's a good way to put it. But I would see it as either or. It's a positive because the star is a very positive card. But it's like I said, even if you get a hiccup along the way or something, from your decisions, the bad outcome comes. You're going to learn from that. So in the end, you're going to win.
Right.
Because it's going to teach you a lesson of some sorts.
Right.
That's what I.
Now, please forgive me if I don't remember the name of your YouTube and your Facebook, but it's Merlin of the Fae King's King's Crown. What is it again?
Yes.
Merlin of the Fae King's Crown.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I got it lucky. Well, I had this fairy. I'd like to know your take if you saw the video from the one that we did on the fairy this week, since you're into the Fae.
Yeah, the lady that was born in I think she says she's born in the UK, but she's right. In Australia.
Right, Maggie.
Yes. I think she's put a lot of research, and she has a lot of knowledge about about these different beings.
Right.
I really can't say I disagree with anything she said. I think she's right on the money. But back to elementals, I think you asked me what elementals were, and I think I said they were a force of cosmic energy, primordial energy. That's like the fundamental forces of nature. I think I only mentioned 4. Of course, we have spirit as well. Okay, so we got fire, air, water, and earth, and of course spirit together as well. But the elementals also in folklore. People believe that they could take human form or some type of form where they could be interacted with as well. But I think that's depending on the being. I think the beings that could do that are closer connected to that source than we are on Earth. But I don't think they're the actual forces itself. They're just like at least in my opinion. A lot of people will disagree. They're like the sons and daughters of those forces. And we are the sons and daughters, or great, great, great sons and daughters of those forces that we call elementals. That's what I believe.
All right. What inspired you, or what got you interested in the Fae?
Growing up, watching Peter Pan and
Mhm.
Tinkerbell, and I just kept watching more. I love fantasy novels and fantasy
Mhm.
movies, stuff like that. So I just love fantasy. I love the fantasy world. I love wizards, magic as well,
Mhm.
dragons. I love all the all those characters written in fiction that we believe are not real. But if you cannot believe they don't exist if someone truly believes in the multiverse. That's how I see it.
Right.
And I think a lot of people can channel into these different multiverses to these entities that may not exist here. They exist in their dimension. Now, some of them may come into this dimension upon contacting them. Look what Aleister Crowley did. It
Mhm.
wasn't until what he did until we started seeing a bunch of UFO sightings. He got in contact with a being named Lamb. He called him Lamb, and based on his drawing, it looks like an alien.
Hmm.
So it's very interesting. That's
Wow.
that's what I'm starting to think. We're contacting these interdimensional entities. But like I said before, it's hard to believe that a different planet uh, alien. I mean, it's possible they wouldn't do that, but it's just like just send a probe like Oumuamua or something. I think that's what happened with Oumuamua. It was a probe.
Hmm.
But what we are seeing as UFOs, in my opinion, are interdimensional beings coming in and out of dimensions, traversing different multiverses.
Right. Yeah, it's very possible.
That's what.
Marlon, thank you so much for coming giving us the reading today. I have to run to the next guest, but thank
Howdy.
you again and have a great week. I'll see you
Love
later,
y'all all.
bud. All right, love
Yes,
you
sir.
too. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
All right, so I wanted to say to Letty Alcala, thank you so much for the super thanks. I really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, if I tilt it down, I don't really, actually, my screen doesn't have, goes up and down. I don't have a tilt function. There's no tilting, see? No, well, then you're just going to tilt the camera down, and I think it's going to be weird, see? Well, not weird, but then you're going to lose the top of my head. It's just the setups out there. So let me see if I change my glasses back. I don't know if that made a difference or not. It's still a little weird. Actually, though, I need these glasses. Actually, when I read at the chat, I can read the chat better. All right, so Lori, there's her sound. Her sound's there. And now here comes her video. Lori, hello.
Hi there.
How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Have you been on before?
No, I have not.
All right, well, welcome. And where are you zooming from?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, nice. How's the weather there? Is it nice?
It was nice today.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess it's pretty close. It's going to start cooling down there soon, right?
Right. Uh-oh.
No, everything's fine on my end. You look great.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you perfectly. You may have
okay, I lost you. That's okay.
I got you, so that's all that matters. So,
all right, that's good.
What do you have to share with us today?
Well, I'm kind of curious to see what you and your viewers think about something that I experienced quite a few years ago. I'm pretty sure it's not an NDE. I don't know if it's an out-of-body experience, but I went to do a past life regression. And so she had me lay down on this cot thing. And so she took me to a couple different past lives. One was I had become a hermit. Apparently my wife had died and I kind of flipped out and I just took off and was a hermit for the rest of that lifetime. But anyway, she was interested in finding out if I could go clear back to where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I did.
Mm-mm.
And the confusing part is I knew what was going on where I had gone, but I also was very aware of what was going on in my present reality. Okay.
Okay.
So I think it was a different planet. I felt like there was water behind me. In front of me was just all this fog and mist. And out of the fog and the mist, there was this man that came out, and he was in white robes. I really don't remember, really seeing his face or anything. And we talked, but we only talked, through, what's the word?
Telepathy?
Thank you. Telepathy. And anyway, he was telling me that I'm a creator, and that even at that moment, if I wanted the mist to go away and have an ocean or mountains, I could do that. And I thought at the time, well, wow, that's pretty cool. But on where my body is at on this cot, I hear the lady that is doing the past life regression with me, like flipping out a little bit. And she says, Lori, you need to come back right now. You need to come back. And I remember thinking in my head, why would I come back? I'm fine. I'll be back eventually, but it'll be on my time. And so I went back to talk to this guy some more. And as I'm talking to him, I hear her say, ask him what your purpose is. And so I went back and I said, what's my purpose? And he says, you are to create things and create whatever. And so at the time, I wish now that I had said, create what exactly? So I could have a little bit more information, but I didn't. I didn't feel like I was supposed to stay there. But what I did feel was just this utter blissful peace and love and unconditional acceptance. Is something I haven't ever experienced here on earth. I have always felt like, I was an outsider or, didn't belong here or whatever. But there, I think I belonged. So anyway, that's the story. I finally came back to my body. And I had to, because the lady was grabbing my arm and hollering at me to come back.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I did, but and then I awoke or whatever, and she says, where did you go? And the man had told me what the planet's name was, but I understood it at the time, but it was sounds that I don't usually make, if that makes sense. I couldn't tell her the name of it. I just said it was heaven because I didn't know what else to say. I don't think it was heaven, but I think it's definitely maybe where I came from originally. So yeah, she was a little shaky about the situation. I wasn't at all. I thought it was fabulous.
So are you saying it was the hypnotherapist that was grabbing your arm and trying to bring you out? Man, she must have been freaking out. Probably never.
Yeah,
I wonder if that ever happened to her before.
I don't think so. I think she was kind of happy to see me leave, to tell you the truth.
Now, do you feel like this was a memory that you were re-experiencing, or was this conversation happening in real time and you were somewhere else? because it's a past life regression, which I thought it was you're going through memories.
Right. I didn't think about that. It felt like it was real time. It didn't feel like a memory.
Hmm. Well, all we can do is speculate here, and
Yeah.
maybe you were, maybe I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't real time, then it makes total sense to me that you were just seeing other lives and other planets. I mean, maybe we've been around for thousands and thousands of years, and if we're eternal beings, that was another planet and another lifetime. Makes total sense to me. Real time, that makes it a little more, throws a wrench in the system, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you were connecting with somewhere else, connecting with your higher self that was somewhere else. Like sometimes I think our higher self can split off or fracture into different places. I think some people will say our higher self can separate and be even in two bodies here on Earth at the same time. Kind of interesting to think about. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That
mean,
makes,
I'm curious to see what the chat is saying
yeah,
here.
I know.
I love
I'm
this.
very
Did
curious.
she come back? Did you come back with any special abilities?
Um, no, I had always been very intuitive, and I have visions, I have dreams that come true. I've always been that way. So I didn't feel like there was an increase.
Hmm. Do you feel like this was something? Was it dreamlike, or was it more like reality?
No, it felt real,
Mm.
very real.
Did it feel more real than here?
Oh, by far.
Like now, when you woke up, now you're in the dream.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Although it's more like maybe what you were saying, pieces me split off. And
Hmm.
so one felt real there, but it also feels real here.
Hmm.
Um, the thing I would say though is I knew that that planet was real,
Hmm.
and I knew I was real there. I realized talking to him and then coming back that that this was all, yeah, it may feel real to me, but really it's just, I maybe it is a dream. It doesn't feel like a dream, it just feels like it's an illusion. I don't
Was
know,
the
maybe
planet
there's, huh?
Was the planet completely water? Because I've had a couple NDEers say that they went to the water planet.
I don't know. I felt like there was this whole vast sea, water, ocean behind me. I didn't see anything in front of me except for this white, foggy mist.
Hmm. What did the guy look like that you were talking to?
He was kind of a normal height. He had he basically wore a long white robe kind of thing. Um,
He was humanoid?
yeah, yeah, I would definitely say he was humanoid. Um, but my sense was, I've had this feeling before. My sense was he came out of a unified being, if that makes sense. Um, and that he could come out as an individual to talk to me. But when I left, he would have gone back into that unity with that one. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it does to me, because I used to play violin and viola professionally,
Mm,
and
cool.
there was one time um, that we were playing in the orchestra, and all of a sudden there was no me, there was no they, it was just it. I mean, it was the most blissful feeling of just being one with something.
When you were
It was,
actually, when you were playing like in a concert?
mm-hmm.
Have
Yeah,
you
it
ever,
was.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but have you ever been playing and you felt like you became the music?
Oh, that's kind of the way it is. And you know, when I would play my violin and or viola, it was like it, there wasn't a separation between me and the instrument. Me and the instrument together were the instrument, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who did you play with?
Oh, just different college, universities, kind of uh, orchestras. I had a lot of fun doing that.
That's great.
But that was the feeling that I got about that planet, that it was all being one. And
Now,
you could come out as an individual, but really the bliss part of it was being part of the whole. Does that make sense?
now, who was the woman telling you to ask questions and to come back? Was that your hypnotherapist or somebody
Yeah, that was
else?
the lady that was the lady was guiding me with my
Okay.
guiding me through my past life
Right.
regression.
All
Yeah.
right. Let me check the chat and see if there's any more questions for you here.
Okay.
Someone wants to know if you still play the violin.
You know what? I don't. Um, Actually, I had bone cancer about 18 years ago,
Oh.
and I had to have some ribs and a whole lot of tissue and muscles on my left side. So taken out because of it, but I'm here, so that's great.
Yes.
But I can't hold up my violin or viola anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
So I don't play. Well, you know what? It's okay. I like to play my mandolin. It has the same key and everything. There's a mandolin that is treble clef. There's another mandolin that you can play like a viola. So I found an alternative. So that's good.
That's cool. You know, when you were saying that, or when you were speaking earlier, it also reminded me of some of my guests who are star seeds, and we talk about that quite a bit. And people are coming here from other planets and other places. And do you think that? Well, it sounded like you had at least one other life here. Do you have any idea how many lives back that other planet was, or do you think you came there from here? I mean, came here from there?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I actually had a reading. Sorry, Merlin, I'm going to come to you some point. But yeah, there's a lady here in town who is just phenomenal. And so I had done this reading, and she told me I have been here thousands of lifetimes.
Wow.
And she said that this was going to be my last one. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Can I please go somewhere else or go home, please?
Right. Did that place feel like home?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. People are wanting you to give us a concert. So maybe you can come back next Saturday and give us a mandolin concert.
I'll have to think about that. This took me out of my comfort zone just doing this. So
really, I mean, it's not that. I mean, you're not stressed.
No, it's not.
You don't seem stressed out, right? I mean, it's not.
No, I have done so many Zoom meetings because of the pandemic. That part doesn't bother me.
Well,
but,
I think there's a lot of people that watch that want to come, but they're uncomfortable, afraid, on the edge, maybe thinking about it. So I'm hoping that you can tell them, hey, it's okay and it's no big deal.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing I did was I kind of dipped my toe into Discord a little bit.
Oh, cool.
And talked to people there and that type of thing. And they were quite encouraging for me to go for it. So yeah, I think anybody should. Yeah, I think the things that's always more stressful for me in a way is just the technology here, making sure that this is on or that is off or whatever. So
Someone,
yeah.
and you even got here Disassociation is saying so much love for her.
Oh,
So see.
the association. Who's
No,
that?
well, I mean, that's just, it's somebody here. His screen name is Disassociation
Oh,
1991.
well,
And
thank
another one,
you.
see, great guest. I hope she comes back.
Oh, well,
So
maybe I will then, because
we
I have
love,
all sorts of fun stories.
all right, great. Well, Lori, thank you
Yeah,
so much for coming and sharing. I don't know if I gave you any answers or if the chat did, but you know, I appreciate you coming and talking about it, and it
yeah.
was cool.
Well, thank you. And I love, love, love your podcasts.
Well,
I
thank you.
learn so much. And one of the things that I learn is sometimes you might have a guest that to me is just way out there. And you are so warm and so genuine and just, and that makes me want to be that way, to be
Hmm.
more like that. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate
All
that.
right. All right.
All right.
You take
Well,
care.
you too have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. All right. So that was cool. And let's get G7 Think Q. Think. Then Q. Think. But it's probably Think. We'll see who G7 is. All right, so there's 226 of you there right now. So there should be no reason that I should have, I put low numbers, 1%. I should have 2.26 people waiting to get in.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
How
It's me, Kelly.
Hey.
I actually talked to you twice. I had
Yes.
the UFO experience before.
Right. Yeah, usually I catch you in your house, right?
Yep.
And now I
I'm
got
in
you
my
out.
backyard.
Nice pool. Very
Oh,
nice
thank
pool.
you.
Where are you from
I'm
again?
waiting
I
for my
forgot.
puppy to do his business, and he's just lounging around the pool.
Mhm.
But anyways, since I was younger, I told you I'm a twin. I'm
Right.
actually a fraternal twin, but we look identical. So a lot of people do mistake us for the same person. Her
Okay.
name is Karen. I'm Kelly.
Right.
And I'm now from Kern County because we were born and raised in Los Angeles, California. But I had something interesting. When my father built this home, when he built his home in 2002, 3, I came to move in with him in 2004, 5-ish. And I got situated. So one day I was younger and I was going to go out to party. We were actually going to wait for friends from Fresno to come pick us up here in Bakersfield. Then we would go to a city in Arvin, go pick up some friends there, and then head out to LA. We were going to do a 3-day weekend clubbing, like, restaurant, hangout, beach style, vacation for 3 days.
Nice.
Everybody got the days off. However, I have a game room in the home, and it was where my pool table was. And at that time, I had a poodle named Lady and a little Shih Tzu named Precious.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, when I walked in from the backyard going inside, like an angelic being came and tapped me on my shoulder and did like this with his hand, blew, and he blew and his hand went over his mouth and over the face, and he said, "Look at this." So a screen opens up in front of me, like 10 feet away, really high up, and I'm looking, and it looks like a TV screen. And I'm actually viewing my friends that are supposed to arrive to come pick me up, and we're getting in a car accident. And I see this car accident unfolding between, in front of my eyes, and I was like, oh no. So the voice, I didn't see the person anymore, but he was right by me and said, "Don't go." So I was thinking like, oh no, I made this promise.
Mm-hmm.
And two of my friends were kind of aggressive at the time. And they were like, we better come and you better not be in denial and you better not be fidgety and finicky and say you're not going to go. So as they arrive, I told two of the girls, there was like about 15 of us. We were going to go in 2-3 different cars. I said, I'm not going. I said, we're going to get in a car accident. And two of them started using profanity and cussed me out and said, no, B, you're going to go. We don't give a F. We drove all the way from Fresno to come pick you up. What? Now you're going to flake out on us? Because you're always flaky when it comes to like being around a big group of people. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then I remember in the vision that the person in the back seat on the left wasn't going to get hurt. So I said, okay, if I'm going, don't pressure me to drive. You two get in the front. And I met one of the girls for the first time. She was on the left side and I was on the far right behind the passenger. So as we're driving, we go up this street called White Lane. And I'm starting to get anxietied out. And I'm like, oh no, my adrenaline starts rushing. And I'm thinking like, oh no, what do I do? So one of the girls that I met, she's thinking to the other lady, she's like, is she on drugs? Does she drink alcohol? And they laughed and they said, Kelly doesn't drink or she doesn't take medication or smoke.
Mhm.
She has her own natural high. And I go, yeah. They're like, well, why is she anxietied out? And I go, because we're going to get in a car accident. They didn't believe me.
Mhm.
So as soon as we pass up a couple of streets, I'm like, oh no, we're approaching the freeway. I said, Lucy, the girl's name was Lucy that was driving, hurry up, put the gas, accelerate now, please, or brake, please. I started crying and I was breaking a sweat and they thought I was all like, Looney Tune.
Right.
So as soon as I put that seatbelt on and I said, in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, I couldn't even say in the name of the Holy Spirit. A truck came out full speed, hit our car. We spun about 3 times. Everything was in slow motion. I could see everybody's reaction. The airbags didn't go off, but lo and behold, I was so thankful to my guides, the angel, source, God, whatever you call it in the supernatural realm. I was so thankful. I was the only one that didn't get bruised up, scraped, rushed to the hospital. It was a big scene, big thing. I was the only one not bleeding. I didn't go into a concussion, didn't go into a coma, and everybody else got hurt. Well, the driver and me really had our energies never matched. So her personality is really bold and strong, and so is mine. So when I got out the vehicle, I was the only one scathed. I had to go through the window. It was actually bystanders that took me out of the vehicle. And it was a bunch of people from a Denny's, a restaurant, that came out to see it. I ran to the front and she was almost laid unconscious and I slapped her really hard and I go, that's why I didn't want to come.
Wow.
And everybody's like, oh, she's in shock. The paramedics were like, oh, she's in shock. I go, I'm not in shock. I had this vision like 5 minutes ago. Why couldn't they listen to me? And I go, that's why. And then one of the girls got scared and she said, well, what is she? Is she a witch? Does she do witchcraft? Like, how does she know this? Like, how did she know? And I said, I've always had a heightened sense.
Mhm.
My energy has always been heightened. I had this strong intuition. And when I hear a voice, when I hear something, I listen to it. And my mom always says, go with your instincts. Always go with your instincts. So for now on, all those friends that witnessed the car accident that weren't involved but witnessed it, now they listen to me. And they're like, Kelly, is it okay to go? I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's go. Is it okay to party? I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
So what did the girls, that were in the car with you that didn't believe you after they got well, what did they say to you?
They asked me, how did you know that? Like, where did you get this gift? Like, how do you know this? We've heard it from you like forever. And I told them, it's me. Like, I was born with it. It was just, I know things since I was a newborn. Like, I could tell you things that happened to me since a newborn, like since the time I was a baby, since at 1 month old. I can go all the way back.
Mhm.
My twin sister, though, she can't. She can go as far as back to 7 years old. And I tell her, you don't remember when we're born in July 20th, right? In 82, I got to go home the first day. And Grandma Margaret, I'm German and Irish on my father's side, and I'm Spaniard on my mom's side. And I go, you don't remember? I got to go home and you were in the hospital for a week or two. She goes, Kelly, I can't even go past when we were 7 years old. I said, okay, how about, do you remember it was our first Halloween and there was 3 cribs. Jeff was in the middle of us and he's older than us by a year. She goes, no, I don't remember that. Dad was dressed as Dracula and Mom, she didn't like it. And we lived in a small little home in Baldwin Park. She's like, yeah, I can't go back there. And I said, I know things since we were kids. And when my mom says, okay, I'll test you. She goes, what happens in this day? And I tell her the date, the time, everything that happened. She's like, wow, you have great memory like I do, but I can't go far back as a newborn the way you can. And so everybody always asks me like, oh, or they'll call me and they'll be like, hey, this happened, or this dream I had, can you interpret it? And I go, no, I'm not a guru. I'm not psychic. It's just occasionally it happens. For example, I have a broken left patella, a fractured patella that I had on the left knee. So I had surgery. So now I walk with the limp, but I manipulate it because I used to be a dancer, choreographer, and I used to love to dance, you know, and that's my thing. So I know how to shift and mock my body. But anyways, I remember specifically it happened 4 years ago. It was a church Sunday. I had one at church and I went to their second service. I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I believe in everything spiritual. Anything and everything people say, I believe it. Well, anyways, it's when they played worship music or gospel music, and I heard a voice that said, "Don't go, Kelly. Don't go. Don't go." And it was a male's voice, but there was females around me. So I'm thinking, like, am I going crazy or what? I'm turning around and I don't see but like 3 pews behind me is like another lady. So I'm thinking, what? So then a bunch of church elders were like, "Kelly, can we please celebrate, your daughter's birthday, because she's going to that. We want to take her out for pizza." And my mom always says, respect your elders, put them high, do as they say. And I'm thinking to myself, no, this is no bueno. Anyways, she's going to be 4 years old. And financially, I was struggling because I was a single mom. So I go to the parlor, and as soon as the elders were like, "Kelly, go purchase the food, go purchase the drinks." Then the elders were like, "Kelly, we're thirsty, go get the drinks." As soon as I walked for the drinks, they had floor damage, and I ended up tripping and falling, and I broke and fractured my left patella, my knee. So that was a pain like no other. And after the hospital scene, I come back home. And my deceased father actually came to me, my late father, and he came for spiritual healing. And I went to the realm, what people will call would be a heavenly pain. And I saw like miles and miles of people laughing, talking, but everybody was in white tunics. And they gave me a spiritual healing. These 2 ginormous angels of light beings, they made me drink of this, like, it looked like a green plant. Like if I have grapes growing. So grape leaves, like big grape, like plants. And they said, you need to drink it. It's a spiritual healing for you. And as soon as I drank it, it tasted like of a sweet milk and a honey flowing through my esophagus. And as it started going in, I could feel it. And as it starts going down, 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 I had this light that illuminated from me, and I could hear songs in the background, like an angelic choir singing. It was like so beautiful and peaceful. I felt so much peace and love. And they told me, with this, you will be healed and you will get up to walk and stuff. And I thought, that's crazy, because my doctor told me it would take a year for me to learn physical therapy, going 3 days out of the week and learning how to walk. Well, lo and behold, right after that happened, the next day, I was able to walk without walkers, without assistance. I was able to do my normal business. And people were like, how did you break into scar tissue so fast? Even the physical therapist was weirded out. Like, what? Like, are you doing physical therapy intensely at home or something? Like, what are you doing? Are you jumping? I said, no, it was my father. He came to me and he gave me a natural healing. And they told me that I was going to be fine. And the only thing is I would have a little limp. And of course, one leg is at least 3 inches taller than the other leg, but I didn't have any other problem with that. So I was like,
great.
thank God.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Kelly, that was a miraculous story.
Oh,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
you for coming and sharing it with us.
Well, I appreciate
and
you.
don't be
I
a
appreciate your
stranger.
channel.
Come back and
I
share with
will,
us some
of
more.
course. I listen every week.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Have a blessed one.
Yeah, you
Bye,
too.
Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Bye, dear.
Bye-bye. All right. So that would be pretty wild. Imagine if you were the person that was in the car with her and she was like, I don't know if I want to go, or you better, slow up or, speed up or slow down. We're going to have an accident. That would be pretty freaky, right? And then if it really happened, it did happen, but I'm saying, if it really happened to you and you were in the car, that would be pretty crazy. All right. So while we are waiting for the next guest, let's see what's up on the schedule for this week. I had I've done 2 podcasts that I've recorded, Tomorrow's will be with a British man that was a gangster, a British gangster, and had an NDE and turned his life around. So I hope you guys will enjoy that one. And the one that I recorded today was with a woman that she saw, basically she saw the pod like the Matrix, and it was really fascinating about we're all living in a simulation. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the one that I did with Gosha. And she's gotten real popular. I think she has a TV show on Gaia now, or at least she did for a while. But Gosha talked about her waking up in a pod before as well. And I think I was mentioning it earlier that I was saying that some of my NDE guests, in their NDE, they immediately go to a room with a door. And this woman did today too. She went to a room with a door. And so I think it's really fascinating. People ask me, are you going to write a book? And I'm thinking about it, but I want to make sure that I, have enough information, and I just keep getting new NDEs, pretty often. And it's like hard to even come up with how I would write it because there's so many different things that's happening. And so I would like to have some certainty when I write it. So I don't know when or if I ever will, but it's another one where it goes to show that when you think where you're getting closer to finishing the puzzle, something new happens. And so I hope you will enjoy that one on Tuesdays. On Monday I will post that one. Let's see. On Monday, I will record another NDE. On Tuesday, I'll record an NDE. On Wednesday, I have a guy that wrote a book called The Paranormal Christian. And I think about his paranormal. I don't know if he's talking about the paranormal things in the Bible or his paranormal things as being a Christian, but I'm not really sure. But that's Wednesday, I'll record that. Thursday, another NDE. On Friday, man, this is like a massive week of NDEs. So if you're into NDEs, it's going to be a good week for you. Coming up, let me see, anything else the following week? Darn it, shouldn't be there. Another NDE. Next week, I have a woman that I think she went on a UFO and received healing. So that was pretty cool. I don't remember what this one is. And that means for me to contact a guest about becoming a guest. Another NDE. If you guys don't know, I call her the godmother or the grandmother of NDEs, PMH Atwater. And she's been in the NDE world for like ever. And I had her on as a guest a long time ago. It's like kind of one of my first NDE guests. And I've been speaking with her, and I think she emailed me. I just didn't write it down. I gave her a date, but we're talking about dates of having her coming back. And I think that's going to be a really fascinating one too. And I think we may be talking a lot about NDEs and alien contact during NDEs. So that one's coming up. That one should be pretty cool. Anything else out of the ordinary? More probably NDEs. And I have a lot of people that I'm like constantly having conversations with people. It's like they haven't ended yet. They're just kind of like, okay, when do you want to be a guest? And what day is good for you? And what time? And there's like probably 3 or 4 that are just, I'm waiting to kind of confirm a date with these people. So that's kind of a never ending thing it's going on. All right, what else is going on here? What's new with us? Anything new with us? Is there anything new with us in the podcast? Didn't we have we did have this. I can do this now. I won't show you. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was last week. Last week I had another remote viewing object. So I have the object here. It's in my hand. And at least let's see if you guys can guess the material, the color, and the shape. So this at least we'll see if you're in the ballpark. You guys have probably forgotten. And so you can try to remote view a little bit while I'm looking at the chat. Great guest, Jeff and Mara, your NDE paranormal powerhouse. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Suzanne. Peter Peeps, the chat's going quickly. It's hard to keep up, which is okay. Oh, there's someone putting an adult site. Goes down. There's 3 in a row. All right, so we got a few people, and we already did the metal trophy, Gracie Girl. I don't know if you were here for that one. But we will. There was someone else that I get solicited a lot. I guess a lot. I don't know if that's the right word. A lot or quite a bit for people who want to be guests. And as I have mentioned before, that I have so many people that watch every single day that I feel like I have a responsibility to try to, give you the best guests that I can. So a lot of guests, I just feel like it's not the right fit for a full 1 hour podcast. So I tell people, I think it will work best if you come for the, on the Saturday night. And I've been talking to quite a few people, but I don't think any of them showed up. And one of them was a man who sent me his video footage of his alien. I mean, a UFO, not alien. He was filming a UFO in his backyard or something up in the sky. And I told him, come tonight and we'll tell everybody, to go check out the video. Excuse me. Check out the video on his YouTube channel. And I don't know where he is, but, people come and go. Anyways, are you ready? Are you ready for the remote viewing object? So it is round, and it is wood, and it is brown. So I thought I saw someone put round earlier. And I don't know if you guys got this or not. Leather, you could say it looks leather-like, but it's actually wood. And what it is a coaster to put my drink on, right? But I'm curious if anybody got close to that. I just drank the bottom of the glass of tea, and I think I just swallowed some tea leaves. You think you can get me one of those? Should I have Then drink? I can show you guys my new favorite drink, by the way. And let's bring in Zoom user, and then I can get back to you on that. I threw round hard the wood. Well, that was me. John Scott, can we have some more spirit guardian angels? I got good in the mentioning. Is it green animal shape? So I don't drink alcohol, and I found... Well, I'll talk about it after this user. Zoom user, hello.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good, good.
You've been on. You have been on before, right?
One time. Yeah, this is my second.
Well, welcome back. What is your name again? I forgot. I apologize.
It's okay, Josh.
Josh,
yeah.
And Josh from where?
Minnesota.
Josh from Minnesota. Okay, you were just on a week or two ago, right?
Yeah, just last Saturday.
Right. I remember it was a busy Minnesota night that night.
Yeah, it was. Definitely was.
All right,
yeah.
What do you got for us today?
Well, I honestly I wanted to come on and tell you that I feel so honored that you put my my mugshot on as the icon for the YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
that made me feel so good.
Oh, great! I'm glad it did. And I remember now. I think somebody at your work told you about me, or somehow you were connected with your work or something. Did you show that person at your work? Hey, here I was on Saturday night.
Yeah, drug treatment outpatient. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. She was excited for me. She was very happy.
Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome.
I sent some of my friends. I was was I gonna say? I don't know why I'm experiencing nausea. It's just
Nausea.
like, yeah, a little bit of nausea.
Oh, maybe it's I don't know. You got to think love. Love. How can I
Yeah,
send you love? Because what people say, it's only love or fear, so it must be a fear response. We got to
right.
raise you up into love, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well,
I
how's
did
your?
want to ask.
I was going to ask you, how's your treatment going?
It's good. It's good. I learn a lot from the other folks there.
Great.
But yeah,
Awesome. Good
yeah.
for you.
I always have a lot to say,
Say
except right now.
it.
Does anyone?
Everybody is saying in the chat, they're all you're getting a lot of love in the chat right now. So if you see
Received
all
and
that, Josh, you've accomplished so much. Love the Nirvana shirt.
Hey, thank you, thank you.
Such a beautiful soul inside it out. You're cutie, Josh. So, Josh, prayers that you need to go back and check out all the chat when you're finished with this.
Absolutely, yeah, I will. I will.
Definitely, yeah.
I have something that I wanted to share with you that I was starting to tell myself here. You know, I realized I'm not Joshua. I just moved him, but like you, like I like we're the soul that looks like from behind our eyes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I was experiencing such a different, it's a very freeing sensation when you disidentify from form, you know.
Mm,
But
that's
yeah, I don't know.
cool.
I had something prepared. I should
That
have written it down.
that reminds me of there's a meditation I like to listen to. So I usually tell the audience what I'm up to. And for a while I was listening to it. I've listened to it so many times. I don't know if I sometimes I feel like I should still keep with it, but I've listened to it many, many times. It's a guy named Bob Proctor, and it's on the Mind Valley YouTube channel, and it's about manifestation meditation. Anyways, he that's a good one if you want to do that one. It's very relaxing, and it I feel like it pulls you into coherence with your heart. But he talks a lot about, I mean, it just what you said reminded me, like, you are not this body. You have a body, but that's not you. You have a name, but that's not you. That's just what you call this body or yourself. So that's what you were saying about you're not really, I guess you don't feel that Joshua is your real name. Do you feel like you have a different name?
I feel like, well, because my understanding of soul is that it's before form and shape and form. So, no, I don't have a name, but the government gave my temple a name, you know. So kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to share something with you if you don't mind.
Sure.
I had gone on Discord after we had last Saturday, and I had found a community on there, and there's a little tab for ascension.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently a lot of people believe that enlightenment and ascension are the same thing. I completely disagree, but I wanted to know your thoughts.
Well,
if you wouldn't,
I thought the ascension, I mean, I'm not an expert, but as far as I understand, the ascension is something the whole planet is going through. We're just kind of raising our energy, and we're hopefully going to the next dimension and a new reality. Even though we may be here, we may be all different in a new reality. Where I would assume that is different. Enlightenment is more of just your own personal, evolution, or your own personal raising of your vibration, or your own understanding. I mean, that's kind of that's
I agree,
the tricky question.
Yeah, because I'm not ascended.
Mm-hmm.
I do think about that, so that what they say, what you think about happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I did experience enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I use The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Have you
I haven't
read?
done that, but I've listened to some of his videos, and I mean, I think he has great material, and he's hugely loved out there. For people love him and love his stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Helped me. That was I'm 31 now. Or
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was when I was 25. Yeah.
So what is your
I feel like I'm dead over here.
what is your future? What are your plans? What are your goals? Now that you're going to finish up with your treatment, now what's the next phase of your life?
I'm I'm
Where,
undecided.
what direction are you going to go? What are you going to manifest?
I was thinking about twin flame, but I'd like self mastery over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, self mastery. Step out of object consciousness and back into enlightenment would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my ego that pulled me out of it. I was in it for about 10 minutes clock time,
Wow.
and I phased out after about 10 minutes. But yeah, besides enlightenment,
Well, what about something more simple and general, like what you're gonna, some of my NDE people will discover their purpose in life. They need to be doing this or that, or their job, or their life, or their, what they teaching people, healing people. Do you have any sense of that? Like what, not really spiritually, maybe spiritually, but like are you gonna go and do what as a profession, and what do you go, stuff like that. 3D world stuff. How about that way to say it?
I'm gonna keep my head down,
Mm-hmm.
and drink plenty of water. I don't know, just
Mm.
like I really don't want to make any plans, or like, because I see it as enlightenment as that first step, for me,
Mhm.
and I don't want to show up to the world any less,
Mhm.
yeah,
All
if
right.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
but yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us again. And I'm going to run to the next guest, and I wish you the best.
Thank you much, Jeff. God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So got a lot of mucus in my throat. I was going to say my new favorite drink, and it's non-alcoholic because I don't drink alcohol anymore. It's been a while. But I still love the taste of, beer, basically. So I drink like non-alcoholic beers, and this is a really awesome one. I caught this at Whole Foods, and it's St. Paulaner, but it's like a Hefeweizen mixed with lemon. So it's like this lemon-flavored non-alcoholic beer. And I think in Germany and it's a Hefeweizen, and in Hefeweizens I think they like to drink in Germany with banana juice. If there's any Germans here, they would probably I hope they would confirm that, because it's kind of a light taste, but when you mix it with lemon, it's actually really delicious. So it's like a lemonade. It's like a sparkly lemonade mixed with beer kind of flavor. It's kind of hard to explain, but my wife and I really like it. It's my new favorite one. And so I think John Scott is the next one. And then Mr. Cake is here, so that'll be cool. See what John's up to. We haven't seen him in a little while. And you know what? I'm going to pose that question to John. We'll see what he says. John, what is the difference between ascension and enlightenment?
Ascension and enlightenment.
What is the difference? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Johnny on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has the potential for ascension,
Okay.
and everyone has the potential for enlightenment. I've pondered the same question about, and one in the Buddhist terminology, ascension is can be also associated with liberation. So we have to look at what is liberation. Liberation from what to where. So, and this is where the two differing cosmologies between Buddhism and Christianity are kind of like dichotomically, well, they're opposed to each other, but ultimately they end up in the same place. Buddhism believes in reincarnation, and that came up earlier about, reincarnation, whereas Christianity doesn't believe in reincarnation, or it was possibly removed. And I agree with that through my years of study. So when one liberates, what you're liberating is from the grosser sensory perceptions, your 5 sense perceptions: sight, sound, smell, taste, and hearing. So, and once you get rid of all those external projections, all the naming objects and our reality based off conditioned responses, conditioned realities, upbringing, gender, country, etc., ad infinitum, eventually you exhaust all that external phenomena. And by exhausting it, it means, well, where else is there to go? Inward. So when you go inward, eventually you start to go through all your mental processes. And then when you exhaust those, this is when it starts to get really interesting, is that you think, well, are my thoughts original? Are my thoughts somebody else's? Whose thoughts are they? And so through years of meditation or inner work, I think in Tibetan Buddhism, they call an inner person who does inner work a nangpa, which means insider. So they always have a very simple, people look outward, we look inward. Then you start to get to the more esoteric aspects of consciousness, subtle aspects of consciousness, which are more punctuated over a long distance of time, or paranormal phenomena. And then you have to say, well, where does that come from? Is that external or internal? Is it external perception or internal perception? And one would have to agree that it's kind of both, but mostly internal. So what you're doing is you're ascending up through strata of consciousness, and it gets subtler and subtler and subtler as you expand like a ball. So you're expanding. This is where the plasticity of your soul gets into. Now, with the cosmology of Christianity, I think we only have one life. Well, it's impossible to reach all of those subtle levels in one life. Absolutely impossible to reach huge amounts of subtleties and ascension-like mysteries through one life. It's just impossible. So I think
I was just going to ask, I would assume that there are, or at least one book of the Bible that has been quote unquote removed, that there was reincarnation, maybe the Gospel of Thomas, or maybe the book of Enoch or something.
Well, those two books, okay, let's look at them. The Gospel of Thomas was more of a Gnostic book. Yes, it was removed. And, the old thing that there was 12 disciples, so we've only got 4 disciples left, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Where's the other 8 for a start? So, I mean, the Bible, from my 30 years of research, it was a library. And then, around the time of, 300, close to 330, AD, which is the AD calendar is based off the life of Jesus Christ. So the Vatican actually kind of produced that calendar. So we're in the Vatican calendar in the West. And a lot of books are removed. And I've pondered this because there was a lot of rabbinical exegesis going on with the Talmud and the Torah. There was a lot of Christian exegesis, a lot of Islamic exegesis happening at that time. Almost unanimously, the 3 Abrahamic religions started to release all their texts out to the public. You got to remember, most people couldn't read and write. So what were they going to release to the people who couldn't read and write? Well, they had to edit the text so that it wouldn't challenge the papal system, so that they retained the power, but we read a husk of what was left over. And that's a classic way. They were the first, corporation. And so corporations like to control, people who are, investors. And the investors in this case were the tithers. And so that was based off, the Judaic and Christian system. So, but of course we get the book, which is this husk of what was left over. But Origen, who was very famous, very well known, he actually claimed that reincarnation was in it. And reincarnation is also in Judaism. Right. I think I talked about this in my book. It's called Gilgul and Tikkun, which means it's kind of like the Buddhist concept of the wheel of karma and the rectification of a previous state of consciousness. In Christianity, it would have been the Garden of Eden. And so the rectification of that is we're going back to Eden, not as a place, not as a geographical place, but a state of consciousness. So everything's in the mind. Everything's in the mind. And so what happens is once they externalize all of these concepts to an external phenomena, you won't find it. It's not there. That's not where the kingdom is. The kingdom's in here.
Did
The
you
heart
see?
and the mind.
Did you see my podcast? And I can't remember her name. I feel terrible, but I just can't remember every guest's name. She's a rabbinitz, a rabbi's wife, and we
Yes.
talked about. Did you see the one we talked about the Kabbalah? And there in the Kabbalah, there's a book called Reincarnation.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of books in Kabbalah. A lot of them are quite mystical. I like the Book of Zohar, and those 3 major books. I mean, for anyone who wants to really get into metaphysics, and it does help. I mean, I'm not a rabbi, and I'm not an advanced teacher in Kabbalah. I read it, and I do get spiritual insights punctuated throughout readings, and yeah, Kabbalah, or the term Kabel means to receive. I think that's a Hebrew word. Kabel means to receive. And you say, well, receive what? You're receiving spiritual insights and information from above. And the problem is there's only certain ways that you can receive that information, whether through dreams, shifted consciousness, like your frequency shifts or your consciousness shifts. You get into an altered state through meditation or paranormal experience. In my case, I had OBEs and NDEs. Many people on the forums have had that on your show. And that really knocks you out of the ballpark. For me, it's like I ended up 27 to 30 years as a recluse thinking, what the hell happened? Because I was an atheist. I didn't believe in God at all. I had no concept. So I had to read all the scriptures. And the more I read, and I didn't want to read them, but the more I read, I thought, hang on a minute. There's missing stuff here because I'm trying to equate the NDE with religion. Huge gap, massive gap, massive. And so this is where we're in a dilemma because we've got these competing cosmologies. I've got the cosmology through the experience. I know reincarnation exists. I'm 100%, not 101 or 99. I'm 100% sure reincarnation exists. But when I read scriptures, I couldn't find anything that said directly that we reincarnate, but there's a lot of inferred texts. Things like Jesus would say, well, many of you will remain awake until I return. It was like, how can you remain awake or remain alive for 2,000 years or even longer? How's that possible?
Right.
So I'm only paraphrasing quotes here, paraphrasing texts.
There's something I wanted to ask you because I had a guest on, another Australian guest, and we were talking about after his NDE about the Bible, and I don't know if I can put this the way he did, but he basically believes that the Bible really, he called it Pollyanity because much of the Bible is about Paul speaking and not much about Jesus speaking. And I know you've read the Bible and you're a scholar of it. What is your opinion on that?
Well, the book of Acts is all about, Paul actually established the Christian church afterwards. And again, getting factual writings, because you go back to the 4 canonical texts, and Jesus is talking in first person like he's actually said something and someone's written it down. Now, who am I to say whether Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John could actually write scriptures and actually write down what he said? Because many commentaries say that, they wrote it hundreds of years or 33 decades after or whatever, and then they started to. No, my personal opinion is it pre-existed from previous writings. The writings are too esoteric. They're too, they're gelled. There's like a patterns within patterns that don't make sense, that some guy just turns up and starts, boom, talking, and he's got this every mystical saying. It's like, no, it's too complex. I mean, I've read the book 4 times now and over 200 Apocrypha. So once you start pulling that Apocrypha in, like the book of Enoch and things like that, you think, hang on, why? Because he's mentioned in the book of Jude. So you think, why was Enoch removed? Why did they take, who's that and who are they? Who took it out? So you've got to ask the questions, who's hiding something here? What's going on? You've just got to keep going where the questions promote you to go. You've just got to go there and keep asking. Me personally, I think it was a pre-Semitic religion. I'm 100% sure of that, but a lot of people won't accept it. And a lot of it's been doctored, but there's still a lot of good stuff in there. if one knows how to decipher these things.
Right. Real quick, someone was asking the name of your book, and John's book is called God's Mountain.
Yes.
You want to check that out? I even
Yeah.
checked it out. I got to get you to send me.
Oh.
I got to get you to send me an autographed copy of your book.
Look, I'd love to, and this is the thing: is I should have got copies from Amazon and ordered a whole bunch of copies because quite a few people want signed copies. So that's kind of like back onto me to pull my finger out and order them. But with the pandemic, a lot of the stuff got slowed down, and like you go to order, and most of the printing's done in the US. So if you're listening, who owns Amazon? Is it Jeff Bezos?
Yes.
So if Jeff Bezos gets on here, hey, open up a subsidiary over here in Asia and Europe and print from those three, America, Southeast Asia, and maybe Europe, so that people can get the book within a week or a few days. That goes for everyone who's on Amazon. But look, I'm not into like promoting my book or making a ton of money.
Right.
My book was more about compiling a lot of information. I've only really scratched the surface. I'm not bragging. Once you get into the paranormal, it's so deep. It's like, the seen reality, the five sense perceptual reality, and the mind is one of the most complex aspects that we have. It's the greatest muscle we've got, and most people don't use it, right? And I'm not being derogatory, but, people don't know how to think. They don't know how to think with logic. They don't know how to deconstruct and then reconstruct. And when you start deconstructing people's realities and beliefs, it can be quite scary, right? And you've got to have a support. You've got to have something underneath to prevent you from totally melting down.
What is your opinion about all of this possibly being a simulation, like the Matrix? Did you see anything in your NDE that could indicate that?
Well, that's good, because I watched The Matrix and I resonated to it very strongly. And I've mentioned before on your podcast that when I saw The Matrix, I instantly recognized what I felt was one of the greatest philosophers was Robert Anton Wilson. He was a proponent of Alan Watts. We had Dr. Tim Leary, who was a high-level psychologist. He wasn't just some random hippie who smoked LSD. And this is what people forget. We had a counterculture, highly intellectual revolution in the 60s and 70s. Tim Leary came out, Terence McKenna, Dennis McKenna. I've actually written to Dennis McKenna years ago on email and responded. I met Terence before he passed away in Sydney at uni. I mean, these guys were right into the fringe of consciousness itself. They're like the Mavericks. They were out there in the wilderness. They were, obviously they were taking a lot of drugs, yes, but I don't like the term drug. But to answer your question, a lot of Robert Anton Wilson wrote the Eighth Circuit theory. Now, that Eighth Circuit theory is like a map of consciousness, and every aspect in the Matrix had one of those imprints, what they call imprints. There's 4 terrestrial imprints, which is basically Freudian psychology, and the latter extraterrestrial circuits are more Jungian psychology. So most people lean towards Freud, but no, go to Jung as well. You've got to look at the whole 2 maps, and then you've got these full 8 circuits, and the NDE is on the 8th circuit. It's on the last one. It's full-blown enlightenment, but I would never call myself enlightened. I just think I can think for myself within my own divinity human. You've got to bring your divinity down, work from the heart, merge the heart and mind. But getting there is a massive journey. Yeah. The great mythologist Joseph Campbell talks about hero's journey, and they break down all the steps. Same thing. Maps. We need maps.
Do you engage in any manifestation for yourself, whether it's meditation or just thinking about, trying to manifest your reality?
When I was younger, before my experience, yes, everyone has goals, and my goals were completely different to what my goals are now. I have a goal of no goal. Absolutely no goals whatsoever. I just be right in the moment, and I work off my intuition, and if it doesn't feel right, I don't do it. If it does feel right, I do it. And that journey can get very narrow sometimes, and it can get quite dark. Like the darkness is scary, and that invokes fear, and it's like being in the void. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The whole planet is now going through a near-death experience, even whilst we're conscious.
Wow.
We're all going through it, yes.
Interesting.
And we're all hitting the void now. Now, the void is that dark space. Now, people are going to try and manifest different timelines. It's not going to work, because the void is called the void for a reason. It's a place of space that's pure darkness, and you don't know where you're at until light manifests. Right? In my case, the gate came and a guide came. I didn't even know where I was at that point in my NDE. So, and I'm thinking, aha, we're all going to go through this. I've seen what happened to me 30 years ago is now coming to pass for the whole planet. And you'll see people freak out, they'll panic, their emotional bodies will schism, their mental plane will schism, they'll start to throw projections out. Oh, the enemy's going to come again, and they're going to flip out because they don't know where they are. They're in darkness. There's no future point of reference that they can actually move forward to, right? We usually naturally move towards the light, whether it's light bearers who hold the flame of truth, or forward-thinking philosophers or artists or whatever. They're all shutting down. It's all going dark. That's incredible. So we're going to see a lot of repetition in things, Jeff, and this repetition is like an old person dying. You're going to see the same thoughts. You see it in fashion, music, so many areas. It's like they're repeating because they're looking backwards. They're trying to repurify that event back there 30, 40, 50, 100, 5,000 years ago. They're going to try and repurify it and then move forward, but they can't. It's like a form of alchemy, and they keep hitting a brick wall because we're in the void. So this is kind of scary, but all potential comes from the void. All potential comes from the void.
Well, if we're going through a planetary NDE, that
yes,
could also be called the ascension, couldn't it?
It's part of the ascension. Now, this is where, when I married scripture to this, when it says, there'll be a new heaven and a new earth, and you've got to ask yourself, how can there be a new heaven? Because the old heaven's going to pass away. How can heaven pass away? How can a new heaven be formed? And this is where, if I've studied Kabbalah now, and I realize that map, or that tree of life, was stolen. And once the map of consciousness is gone, you can't use it to decipher scripture. It's just that simple. And so what's happened is someone has demonized the tree of life, which is the tree of immortality. It's the tree of immortality. It states it so many times in the book of Revelation that we are to drink the waters from the tree of life, not the tree of knowledge, because that's death, that's descending. But ascending is because the tree works on a dualistic concept. You descend, you die, you ascend, you live. So someone's blocking us from ascending. So they're constantly blocking us, like Agent Smith. At every gate, we're trying to ascend, and they go, no, but Agent Smith can't get it as well. Remember he unplugs, Agent Smith unplugs, and he goes, I'm like you, Neo. I'm unplugged. And Neo's going, no, you're not unplugged. You're not really unplugged because you're still in the matrix. You think you're unplugged, but you're not. So
who is this Agent Smith being in our realm that's blocking us?
Well, it can be anyone. It can be anyone, right? In the Matrix, you see Agent Smith kept morphing like it was a lady with a sitting there in the kitchen with a knife. Then soon as Neo saw her, boom, it was the Agent Smith, and he had the knife in his hand, he'd throw it at Neo. So anyone can become an agent because of their ignorance. They don't realize. They'll reinforce the box that we're in. They'll reinforce all the old habits that are conditioned into them from this reality, from people who control consciousness. That's a scary thought. This reinforcement, school, education, politics, finance, everything, religion, everything. And until you break and deconstruct everything, you cannot wake up. It's so hard. So most people are still stuck in the first 4 terrestrial circuits. That's half the major. They're still in the grey zone as Neo, working, as an IT expert, and they haven't had their red pill yet.
It's interesting. I've never heard you go into this direction of control before. And I'm wondering I'm wondering what your thoughts on this, because this is my most, it's not like the video, I would say the video that I've had that have had the least amount of likes. And I don't want to say hated, and I don't really want to say most disliked, but the least liked video I ever had was of a gentleman that said, and After your NDE, you're just getting tricked and forced to come back by evil beings out there that just feed on our negative energy, and they just keep capturing us and sending us back.
Okay.
And you're mentioning control now, so I'm wondering if you're going
Okay.
in that direction.
Okay. Yes and no. Okay, and I'll clarify that. Okay. We'll go back to the 1920s, I think it was, or the 1930s. Now, one of the most amazing books came out, and it was the Tibetan Book of Dying. Okay. Not to be confused with Sogyal Rinpoche's book of Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. This one was just the Tibetan Book of Dying. And for any Buddhists out there who's read it, and I've read it myself, they talk about going through bardos and then eventually reaching what they call the ground of all luminosity, which is an acronym of the word goal. And they say quite succinctly that that's your absolute nature of your consciousness. Now, whether or not someone wants to say it's the light or God, I'd go with that. Now, for those of us who've experienced the ND, there can be no doubt what love is. There is no doubt in my mind. It's cemented through the Gnostic experience. What happened is a few people, I think it was L. Ron Hubbard, actually got in, and I think he was an ex-intelligence officer working for the US Navy. He got in and started Scientology, and then Scientology used the Tibetan Book of the Dead and distorted it. And so what they did, when you get up to what they call the OT8 level, which is their highest level, and I put myself in a lot of risk talking about this, but I know somebody who went to that level, and then they ended up committing suicide. Because once they brainwashed them to that level, they told them that once they died, not to go to the light because it was an extraterrestrial source that would then send their body or their soul back to the light to be controlled by extraterrestrials. Red flag. Now, what about the people who are running Scientology? Aren't they reincarnated and being controlled by the same negative forces? Hello, where's the liberation in that? So it's a negative feedback loop where constantly people are going like, no one can liberate, which is not what Buddhism taught. The Buddha taught you can liberate and you can free your mind, right? That's what the essence of Buddhism is. That's what the essence of the multiple reincarnations as per the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And you can liberate. Don't let anyone tell you say that you can't liberate. No, you can, but you have to put in the effort. You can't do it without effort. You have to. It's not about work, but it's about inner work, dissolving the outer dissolution, what they call the grosser dissolution process. Now, the NDE is more of the subtle dissolution process, right? So there's an outer, grosser, inner, subtle. And so most people don't even try. And so I've noticed in religion, they constantly twist to say someone in the future is going to come and save you. So they put you into a passive waiting state. And the future never comes because there's no such thing as tomorrow. It doesn't exist. We're always in the now. So what they're doing is they're shifting you into a state of future up here, and tomorrow never comes. So when's it going to happen? Now, I had a Jehovah's Witness come to my door, bless his heart, lovely people. And I said to him, I said, hey, Jesus has arrived. He's come today and Jehovah sent you to come to my front door. He's in here with the lounge room. Come in, my brother. And he went, what? Right? I said, yeah, he's finally arrived. He's here. He's arrived and he knows that you were coming. Jehovah sent you to my door to meet him. And I was being a bit facetious, a bit funny. And he got really scared. I said, please don't go. This is your opportunity to really find out the Messiah has finally arrived. And he started walking backwards. And I said, look, Lucifer's entering into you. Don't run now. Please don't run. Please come in. He's here. This is your salvation. You've been waiting for thousands of years. And I had a bottle of wine there and a bit of bread. And all I was going to do is give them a glass of wine, which they won't drink, and a bit of bread, because they're the two symbols of Christianity. I was going to give them a big hug and say, I love you, right? And I'm not Jesus, but what I was trying to say, it's in you. It's your heart, right? It's nothing mystical. And he just took off running down the street, and he was really running. I mean, this guy was an elder. It's like, I mean, I didn't mean to be rude, but it backfired, you know, and he probably blacklisted me and never came back, you know, the Satan's living in that house or whatever. But, you know, I did ask questions. I used to ask them, like, well, where's Satan? They go, oh, Satan's out there and everyone else. That means me and you. I said, well, where's Jesus? Oh, he's coming in the future. Where's the angels? Oh, they're in heaven. Where's God? Oh, God's up there in the throne. I said, well, what the hell's inside you then? because everything was externalized, you see.
Yeah.
What was inside him or you? It's like, it's so, people, please just work from the heart. And I've seen Jesus and Buddha every single day of my life. When an old lady falls over and some stranger runs up, picks her up, dusts her off, cares for her, I'm looking at Christ. I'm looking at the energy of love. There's no association, I won't pick her up because it's not my grandma. Total strangers caring for each other, sharing. That's the story of the fishes and loaves. Share. Just start sharing from the heart. We'll all get through this. And this is where we're at. During tough times, you share, you break up the bread, the loaves, and that's a metaphor for sharing from the heart. It's so simple. People do it all around the world. Look, if you're in a church that's dividing you, constantly saying there's the enemy, there's evil, if they're dividing and conquering, hello, that is the negative force. No kingdom shall stand. Every kingdom shall be divided. If it's divided, it will fall. So anyone who's pointing division or creating division, Jeff, away from the one, that is a satanic force. We are all one. We are all one. We're all connected through the heart. All we need to do is open it. And you don't need to wait. You can do it right now. I love you. I love your viewers. I love the world. I even love my enemies, because sadly, what they're doing through actions, negative actions, thoughts, they have to reincarnate, and it's not going to be pretty. They have to come back here, and I weep about it, because they're ignorant. They don't understand what they're doing. They really don't. They're intelligent people, but they don't get this logic level for some reason. I feel they're veiled, and they have no idea what they're doing. They've actually already destroyed their soul. The soul will come back here and they'll be put into horrific incarnations, and you got no idea. You can just use your imagination. They're already out there. When you look at the immense suffering, right? That is non-liberation. They're trapped in time. They're trapped in a vessel that they cannot get out of. It's like a prison. So, but for those who look, even the Buddhists say, if you've got the karma just to hear a great teaching, your karma that's fantastic. Really hear a truth and take that seed and grow with it to help others. Eventually, if it manifests, you can help others. So that's what drives me. It's like randomly I'll get on and have a talk, and it's just one person. It's not about buying books or selling books. It's just about going, click, oh, I get it. We've been trapped here for possibly tens and tens of thousands of years. It's daunting. It's absolutely daunting. I went into the worst depression post-NDE about 5 years after, because I saw the overwhelming time factor that we've all been here, so many lives, but this is the life where so many people who've brought the light to the planet, right? So many light workers have come to try to lift the planet, to ascend, to lift. Let go of all that materialism. Let it go. You can't take it with you. I've never seen one person take their Porsche with them. They can be buried in it, but they can't take it where you go after this. Right. You lose your body. You take nothing with you except your experience. That's all you take. And then even then, that gets broken down further, which, that's quite another discourse in and of itself. Right.
Well, John, again, I know you're not selling it, but I'm telling everybody, if you want to read more about John's NDE, it's in his book, God's Mountain. And don't be a stranger. I've got to run along, but it was nice seeing you again. And there's been so many podcasts that, I'd like to get your opinion on, but just maybe next time.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jeff, and thanks, Mara.
All right. He says thank you. All right, brother.
Thank you, Mara.
Thanks for coming by, bud.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening.
All right. Cheers. All righty. Wow, that was some pretty deep stuff that we were talking there. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. And next we've got Mr. Cake. And we have had a request.
It's about time, man. I've been waiting in line.
I had a request. I was saying that I had a request to make sure that I give Stephen enough time to do all of his impressions.
There wouldn't be enough. I can go on about a bunch of different topics, though. You could just put me and John and just let us just roll for an hour.
You could have been like all the different people talking to him.
Everyone wants to know the difference between ascension and enlightenment. Well, I can tell you what it is, folks. Go to Trump University. We teach the difference there. You've heard of Trump Tower, Trump Stakes, Trump golf courses and results. Now we got the Trump Spirituality and Paranormal podcast with our number one host, Jeff Reynolds, and his favorite wife, Melania.
So, what have you been up to this week? Anything new? Do you putting up what? Let me backtrack. I thought I saw a new video posted by you juggling. Did you put up a new one, or did you make a compilation of your old ones?
Yeah, so that's so after my computer crash, I'd just been recording myself juggling. I've probably got about 50 videos, and so the internet's really bad here, so I wasn't getting in my room, so I just said, "Oh, put them together, something to do."
So
like I said, I do these puzzles.
You are doing videos again, at least juggling videos.
A little bit here and there. Yeah, like it's a little frustrating because like everything's like the video's bad and the audio's bad.
I wish you had better internet, because I think it would be amazing if you did if you just had a whole show based on Trump.
We would do a great show, wouldn't we, folks? You know, it'd be a great show. Hi, my name is Tom Pranks. We do jokes on celebrities. I knock on the doors and then I go running. Me and Bobo, we have lots of fun with Jenny. And
so,
you know this.
I'm sorry.
You know
go
the
ahead.
song. Yeah, the song. Get back to where you belong. Get back to where you once belonged. That was a song. We wrote it because people were cutting in line for tickets. So we just wrote a song called "Get Back in Line, Man."
Have you seen that new documentary with them on the HBO? I guess it is on Disney Channel.
No, I haven't
Get
seen
Back.
that.
I watched some of it. I don't have Disney anymore, but I watched some of it. It was kind of, it would be cool. I think it could get a little old unless you're a musician and you just love to see them writing songs.
Marty, I've got some great advice. Never make deals with terrorists because they always want something. They'll come back with guns if you don't give what they want.
I wish you could come up with some kind of dialogue of him talking to Trump or arguing with Trump.
Yeah, it's funny. I just like to take because everything is absurd. That's how I see it. So if you start analyzing movies and whatnot, everything starts getting ridiculous. Like I know I did that joke why 88 miles an hour? It doesn't make any sense. It's numerology, Marty. It works.
Well, I want to know, how do you feel about them raiding Mar-a-Lago and taking all your boxes?
Let me tell you something. What they got, we got more of it. Whatever they took, we got lots more.
So how's Monique?
She's always here. She's a very naughty girl. She's getting me in trouble all the time. Let's do some dowsing. I was hitting golf balls in a field. I had a couple clubs. Let's do some spirit dowsing. And she just moves them everywhere. I go, we're not going to find anything if you just keep acting like that.
It looks like today your hair has gotten a little lighter. Are you lightening it?
Not really doing much. It's the desert, Dolly.
It's the desert. It looks like it looks like you may have, been spending some time out at the beach, maybe on the Great Lakes, since you're in
I haven't burned this
Minnesota.
year. That's good. I've got light skin, so I haven't burned, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good. That is very good, sir. So, we need to get you to get. We need to have you learn some new impressions, new people.
Yes, I did Shaggy. Like, oh,
Mhm.
Scoob, there's a monster coming after me. What do I thought it'd be funny if I did the other type of Shaggy. I want to show the nation my appreciation. There you go. Like a Jamaican guy.
Yeah, the rapper
Right
Shaggy
by the
and
beach, man. That's where we go when we want to find what we really want.
I was looking to see if we have anything for
Crikey's,
you.
my John Scott was on here. He's from Australia, way down under there, ain't he?
That would be great. I was looking to see if we got anything in here for you in the chat, but no. They just Steven, I love your Trump impression. I can't stop laughing. Why didn't you start with well, hello there? What happened?
I know that. Why are you doing? Because I'm in a public area. I can't really talk much.
I was expecting to hear that one. Someone wants to know if you can do Austin Powers.
I would, but it would be horrible. It's hard on the
That's
spot.
Dr.
Just gotta...
That's Dr. Evil.
Dr. Ever. He's here. I have a good one of him, but it's like I kind of like got to do a little warm up.
You gotta have him where he does this too.
Yes. Hungry hippos don't come alive and eat the children. That's the difference between Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. Here's one thing I do. I don't know if you've ever talked about on your podcast is I do backwards speech analysis.
All right, what is that?
So you listen to a speech or a song and it reveals extra information about what's going on. So this Beatles song Band on the Run, if you play it backwards, they say, yeah, we smoke marijuana. And then when you look into it, they wrote the song because they got arrested for smoking marijuana in Japan. So it's like it reveals more information.
So are you
So
saying
are
you playing the song backwards, like taking the record and spinning it backwards?
Well, you just you don't need a record. But
Wow.
it just reveals extra information about what's going on.
Interesting. I never thought about that. I wasn't really sure how else can you play something backwards? The easiest way is spinning a record backwards.
I just take Audacity. I just take Audacity, record it.
And
Interesting. Then reverse it, and then I just listen for a word or something, and then I'll focus in on that and see. Some people, every word isn't something. Right. That's the thing. Every single thing is it got famous because Led Zeppelin in Stairway to Heaven, they talked about Satan at 666, and it sounds like it's just a coincidence, but it's real. They were into the occult. They were into Satanism and the occult. So
I think someone was asking if you could do baby back ribs. You remember that commercial from back in the day?
I got my baby back. I'd like the deer in the headlights. I can do lots, but it's like I typically have to like Alec Baldwin likes his sweaty meatballs.
Have you ever considered doing ASMR videos?
No, I don't do that. No, I don't even watch those videos. I like skits. That's what I would be doing. If I could just do whatever I wanted, I would do skits. Like if you have it's funny if it's a serious topic, like a really like Jesus is talking to people and he says, if you even look at a woman with lust, you're guilty of adultery in your heart. And it's just silent. Everyone look at each other. He's like, I'm just kidding with you. Do whatever you want. It breaks that tension.
That'd be cool. So, let's see. What else is here? Can you do Clint Eastwood? That's another one someone's asking for.
Do Clint Eastwood. I don't know why the hell you'd want me to do Clint Eastwood. But listen to me. Feeling lucky.
I've got a request for the church lady.
Oh, the church lady. Oh, so could it be Satan?
Let's see.
What's
Anybody
the
else?
deal with that? Whoa!
I've got a request for Elvis.
Thank you very much. I am blue, baby. Got a blue song.
Yeah, someone has a good point that you should start a TikTok because you can put up 10 or 15-second posts.
I would do TikTok, but China's in control. There's a problem with TikTok. They said China gets all your data.
I've heard that. Is there any data that you're really worried about them getting?
I don't know.
Is there some? And now Penny is asking if you can share with us some of your experiences. So we want to get serious now.
Okay, so when I was growing up, religion didn't make that much sense to me. And then I got into spirituality, Sylvia Brown and meditating in high school. And then after my life was destroyed, I got into Dr. Hawkins. I know a few guests have mentioned his work, and he does consciousness calibrations. And what you're doing is you're tapping into consciousness itself. So people are, it's a spiritual tool. So anyone can't just use it. Like you have to have good intentions. So it's like, it's designed so evil people can't just, find out the truth. It's good people only get it. So there's a website, Consciousness Calibrations, and they're always putting up new stuff. My favorite book is called Truth versus Falsehood, How to Tell the Difference. And he's got a list of all these things, almost everything you'd want to know about.
All right. Well, before I run, because I've got two people waiting on me, someone wants to know if you can do Trump imitating Elvis.
I'm the best. I'm number one. I do the best songs in the world. You may have heard of me before. I'm better than the Beatles.
It's funny. It's funny is it just reminded me of, if you guys have Amazon Prime, I enjoyed it. There's a movie on there where it's Elvis meets Nixon. I don't know. It's, if you just kind of Google that on Amazon Prime, it's kind of a fun movie, I thought.
People want to know if they're dictator evil. I'm not evil.
All right, brother. I better run.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And God bless
Thank you for
everyone.
coming, buddy. God bless you. Cheers. All right, let's get Tina in here. And I need to back up and get these because these came by. Jeffrey Walden, thank you so much for the super thanks. And it says, thanks for all your podcasts. I've listened to many. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for listening. And there was one more from Typo. So nice to see you again, Typo. Great to see you. Great show. Thank you, JeffMara callers and chat members. So thank you for the super thanks, and thank you for coming by and maybe you can come say hi to us because I haven't seen you in a long time. All right, Tina, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on?
Oh, what's not going on?
What's not
Your
going on?
haircut looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, I did this.
love it.
I have to get this. They call it I'm having something to kind of pull it up higher, but it's just I had to order something, a product, to get my hair higher. But for now, it's just is what it is. But thank you. They call it an undercut. I've got it cut. I've got it almost shaved around the sides.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Looks great. Looks
Thank
sharp.
you. Thank you. I have a publicist that sends, I guess she's a publicist. Yeah, she's a publicist. And people pay her to, I guess, get their books out and whatever. And she sends me guests and stuff. And that's one of my sources. And I actually work with more than one publicist. But she told me one time, you change your hair more than I do. Because she's seen it from long to shorter to shorter to shorter to where it is now.
Yeah,
well, not
always
recently.
different.
Yeah, I keep evolving. So let's get to you now. I think we've been discussing Bigfoot, and now I think there's ETs involved or something.
Yeah, I actually have a video of it. So it was Friday a
Oh
week
yeah,
ago.
that's right. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I had a traumatic event with another human being, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was in quite a bit of like personal pain that night, and I went out to walk my pups,
Mm-hmm.
and this cloud in the shape of a giant spaceship just appeared
Right.
where there's no other clouds, but also there's this little tic tac shaped thing, and it would fly close to me, but it would also like fly clear across the parking lot and remain the same size. I could still see it as a little tic tac, and it shows up in the video and all the pictures I take. So if you go to my Facebook or my TikTok or YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
my Bigfoot teacher,
Mm-hmm.
you can see it in the 17th second of the video. It takes off and shoots across the screen because it looks like it's just stuck there for a while, but
Right.
then it takes off. It's like, what? And that's when it zoomed right past my face, and I followed it with the camera.
Mm-hmm. Now
So
your YouTube channel and your Facebook are both called, or I guess it's a Facebook page, are both called My Bigfoot Teacher.
my TikTok and my YouTube are my Bigfoot teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And
so-
then my Facebook's just Tina Beth Littleton Thomas.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you guys want to check out that UFO video, then you can go there. We've got to get you to get Bigfoot on video.
Well, it's almost like, I don't know, like offensive to them because we're always trying to prove they exist,
Mm-hmm.
and they're actually trying to prove to us that we exist, and that our existence is not what we think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So after that experience with that UFO cloud, and it was full of lightning, y'all, it was incredible. It was a few days later. Well, it was a few days ago. Yeah, so it was a few days later. I got that overwhelming feeling in the middle of the day to take a nap. And so I laid down, and as soon as I was out, I was aboard a craft. And there was a Bigfoot there. It wasn't a Bigfoot that I knew, like I didn't recognize him. But the ET, the extraterrestrial, I don't call them aliens anymore because like we're the ones who are acting alien to life here. And this extraterrestrial was so loving to me. Like I've been terrified of aliens my whole life, growing up in a strict Christian religion and all that. But it was little, and it was like the typical little gray looking alien or extraterrestrial, except he was full of lights, and I could tell like he had male energy, and he felt like it was my dad. He felt like it was like that kind of relationship. And it was just playful. Like I was laying on a bed of some kind, and he took his little hands and was rolling me and playing with my ribs and like rolling me back and forth on the bed. And it was like I became like a little infant, and I was just laughing so hard. And I could feel so much love and joy coming from him. It was incredible. It was like I felt like I was home, just like a near-death experience. Like I felt like I was home again. So,
now, you were asleep and then they brought your consciousness aboard the ship, or did you wake up and your body was there too?
it felt like my body was there. It really felt like my body was there, but I'm becoming aware of, we have different bodies going on. It might have been my astral body. And like some of these times where I've been taken out of body by these Bigfoot people and now this extraterrestrial, when I come back, I'm buzzing so hard. It feels like I'm rematerializing, because I have in the past evaporated and dematerialized. So it's that same intense sound and buzzing in every quirk of your being.
Mhm.
You know.
It's interesting that you had fear of aliens from church, and I was trying to look this up as you were talking because, you know, in the Vatican, Reverend Jose Gabriel Funes, who's the head of the Vatican Observatory, he said, let me see, how can we exclude that life has developed elsewhere? And he saw no conflict in belief in such beings and faith in God. And I don't have time to read it all, but I basically think that they said that if there are aliens, they're also under God too.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up Mormon, and the first time I heard about Bigfoot was when I was married, and my husband told me that these are the Bigfoot are the seed of Cain. They're like of the devil, and we, like, basically we were told not to trust anything that isn't Mormon. So only the Mormon prophet you can follow, and so I mean, I just never I never wanted to see an alien or extraterrestrial or a Bigfoot. I was very terrified of them. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Are you I believe in Mormonism there are different levels of being, what's the word? I don't know if traditional is the right word, but being more oh gosh, you know, you can be more fundamental. Is that the right word? Maybe a more fundamental Mormon versus more liberal Mormon. And if so, where were you on that scale?
Okay, so basically, like, if you're a fundamental, you follow the whole religion, which you would have multiple wives. And then the toned down version, the mainstream version, is where I was at. But still, you know, like, as a woman, you know, you're not allowed into heaven without a man, and you know your man is going to have many women in heaven. And if you die and your husband gets remarried, he'll have that wife with him too. So so it's still like, you know. Yeah, so
all right. Well, I thought I had a guest recently. It may have been on one of these Saturday nights that said that in Mormonism they were okay with reincarnation, or they believed in it. Is that true?
no, I actually got yelled at by a bishop who heard it. Like, he heard it from someone else. He said, I heard that you believe in reincarnation. You know, and I was not even LDS at that time. I was just helping a lady who was LDS. I was helping take care of her while she was going through a divorce. And so yeah, no, they absolutely do not believe in reincarnation. But interestingly enough, they called their heavenly father Elohim, and believe that he's from the planet Kolob. So they actually do worship an alien.
Interesting. But yeah. I think, well, at least NDEs are okay within the religion, right?
You know, I've known quite a few people that had near-death experiences in the church throughout the years, and most of them were excommunicated for sharing their story, or they left on their own, like I did. I just left. I didn't even offer an explanation to my church leaders. I just left. So
yeah, because I could have sworn that I had one guest that after her NDE, the only church that accepted her and talking about her NDE was a Mormon church.
Yeah, if the NDE matches that belief system, but if it doesn't, like none of mine did, then you're going to get in trouble for talking about it.
Someone's having trouble finding your channel. It's called My Bigfoot Teacher
on YouTube. Yeah, and I can't.
Maybe you can Why don't you just put a link to your video here in the chat?
Okay, I'll
That'll
do that.
probably easiest, yeah, because then everybody can
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah. But when I search it, I put my Bigfoot teacher and then Sunny Boy, SUNNYBOY.
All right.
But yeah, these Bigfoot and extraterrestrials have just totally melted down like all of the belief systems that I've had through my whole life.
So are you now in the theory that Bigfoot is also an interdimensional or an extraterrestrial being that is not here full time?
Yes, but the same is true for me. I mean, when I go to sleep at night, I often go live full other lifetimes. And so this is their message to us, is that we are also just like them. We've just been dumbed down. And what they've been working with me on is, like, today they said, remember when I used to think being productive was making $60,000 a month. And today I spent the day in bed belly breathing and listening to positive affirmations to keep my vibration and frequency up, because they're telling us, they're telling me, like, we are vibration and frequency. That's the language of the universe. This is how you transcend all the darkness here, is keep your vibration and your frequency up. And to spend your whole day doing that, that's being productive, not making a living, not, getting an education and all this other crap I've done. It was just wasting my time. It got me nowhere, and I'm beginning to see my reality shifting, like I've had people my whole life be incredibly cruel and do mean things to me. And lately, when this has happened, people are apologizing to me. I've never gotten an apology before. And like my neighbors, I've always had problems with my neighbors. I got a bunch of neighbors that love me now. And it's like, like I am actually starting to experience where I'm in euphoria almost all the time. I'm living in heaven on earth, and I'm not going anywhere.
That's awesome.
Floating in the sky away from here. Like like this is what the extraterrestrials and the Bigfoot are telling me. Like we are just like them. This is our true design. This is how we are.
Right.
We have magical powers, and we access the creation of the universe by keeping the vibration and frequency within really high, happy and joyful. That's all that matters. You do that, and everything you want will start showing up for you. I believe them.
Cool. Well, Tina, I gotta run. It's already overtime, and I've got people waiting on me.
All right. It was good to see you.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about that. All right, Tina. Thanks again for sharing with us, and
Love
don't
you
forget
guys. Bye.
don't forget to put your video there.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jeff, who did the intro voice for my show? That is Mr. Ross Mitchell, who is doing the voice for my show. And he used to do the voiceover for Art Bell. So, and I love his voice. I think his voice is amazing. And I'm happy to have it there. John, welcome back.
Hey.
What's going on with you this week? After you were here last week and we were talking about wearing the thing over your eyes.
Yeah.
A member of the audience contacted me and bought one, and she really likes it. She gave me a link of which one to get on Amazon. I should get one. So that is something that's came from you. You put that energy here. You brought that here.
Well, yeah, you can buy a bunch of cheap ones, and then even if you get like a good one.
I think hers is a good one.
See, I first was using like a ski mask I found, and I just put a bunch of tape on it. But anything you use, you're still going to have to seal out light,
right.
So you're going to have to use some kind of fabric. So
right.
Yeah, you could just get a cheap one too, and
I think hers.
I started off. I was using like a ski mask.
I don't know what your definition of cheap is, but hers looked really nice, and it's not just something. I mean, it had like padding or something that gave you a seal around your eyes, and it looked like it was probably less than $20.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was on Amazon.
I think I bought like 10 or something, and probably for, I don't know. I think they were not expensive, like maybe less.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, less than $10 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, what do you
But
got? What
I
do
don't
you
like
have?
to spend a lot of money.
Oh, well. What do you have new for us this week?
I don't really have anything much new, and I wasn't gonna call in, but I was really paying attention to what John Scott said, I think.
Okay. Right.
And I don't remember exactly, but I'm gonna rewatch it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that I got the sense that he was saying the way I've never quite heard whatever that is, that sort of a universal understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like he covered a lot in a
Yeah.
very so I was just gonna say I would make that a separate video. I thought that was really good.
Right. Well, he has an amazing way of articulating his experience, and I've had actually several, probably 3 or 4 full podcasts with him.
Well, I've listened to.
I should have. I don't know if I may have created an actual John Scott playlist. Maybe I've had 5 or 6 with him. And have you got?
I've listened to at least. Well, I think I've listened to 2 of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like whatever he said there, I just thought that was seemed like it just covered a lot, and I've never quite thought about it from that dimension or something like.
Right. Have you ever read his book?
Well, yeah, maybe I'll have to. Well, yeah, I could check it out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you about his book, but he is, I'm not like, there's no incentive for me to, I'm just saying, if you're really into his stuff, then maybe you should read his book. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
No, what I'm saying is I've heard him talk before,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like what he just said now came through really clear. Something about it was really refined, and it seemed true. Like it seemed valuable.
Right.
And I thought
it was really resonating.
I wanted to say that. And I thought of one thing to add.
All right.
You guys were saying who is the modern day Agent Smith, right?
Right, yeah. Who is that?
I'm thinking, okay. Now, could it be stimulation, lights? Could it be this sort of stimulation because it's keeping us stuck in our intellect?
Maybe like the program. Maybe we are, we were speaking about, are we in a simulation? I was asking him because I recorded an NDE this morning. Was an amazing NDE, and she was saying that we're all living in a simulation. I mean, I don't know how much I should give away, but I guess I could give away some of this. Let me just say this, that basically she was saying that we are all alive on a spaceship. We trashed our last planet. We're going on our way to a new planet, but it takes a long time to travel there. So on our way there, we keep going through these simulations of reincarnation to better ourselves before we get to the next planet. What do you think about that?
Well, no, I was trying to stop you though. I wanted to say something because I was starting to forget it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was hearing what you were saying, but
that's okay.
I was just thinking back to
for cutting you off.
No, but I just thought of something. I didn't want to lose it, and I took a little THC. So
Okay, you took some
So
THC last time you came on here. I want you to come next time without it. I want to see how.
all right.
I want to see the full
Oh,
present John.
okay. Well, I just took half of one, but
Okay.
no. Let me say this because it just it's part of the ascension thing that you guys were talking about.
Okay.
So I yeah. Maybe okay. Maybe the thing that was preventing people from ascending in the past was like a lack of intellect, like a lack of intellectual stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
The intellect couldn't fully develop.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're in this time period where the intellect has no choice but to like develop and overdevelop, and that's why I'm saying we might be so overstimulated now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all happening very quickly on a screen, or
Mm-hmm.
just digital images are all extremely stimulating.
Right.
So now that everybody's intellect is catching up, I'm just an idea, maybe now we're all caught up.
Mm-hmm.
We think there's something that we have to do, but maybe the main thing we have to do is break out of the intellect. So yeah, it could, just an idea. Maybe it's something about the screens. Just
Well, I think you have a good point, valid point. And my first impression is that we haven't changed much as humans in probably a couple thousand years, because if you read old literature, you watch old stuff, you even go to watch an opera and you're like, wow, we haven't changed in the last 300-400 years. But now with the internet and, as you said, screens, and with the digital age, we're getting so much more information to us quicker and faster, and we're getting bombarded by information that now maybe we're starting to change because we're getting so much at once.
There may be now this the ascension might be that we're all on the same intellectual, or I would say in the past, like maybe a person couldn't get that stimulation, and then that would prevent a spiritual awakening or something.
No. Well, John, I'm gone way over time, so I'm going to call it a night.
Could I respond to what you said before?
Sure.
Though?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I just wanted to, somehow I felt like that was an important point, and it was something I thought about before and I would forget. Not even just on this podcast, just something. So I just wanted to, but I want to respond to what you said if I could.
Sure, of course. Go ahead.
What could you say it again?
What did I say? I don't even remember which
something
part.
About the
what I was saying is that at first I would say I don't know if we've really changed all that much. If you go look at, you just read Shakespeare or you go watch the opera, I feel like humans have not changed much in that last couple thousand years. The only thing that has changed is technology. But one caveat on that is the digital age. And now that we have the internet and, as you said, screens, and we're getting bombarded by information much faster than ever, that maybe we are actually starting to change quicker or change more in some way.
Yeah, well,
Is that what I said that you wanted to respond to?
I was saying that thing when you said something earlier.
Oh, about the spaceship?
That.
About the guest, about talking about the NDE on the spaceship?
I guess I just felt bad about it.
About what?
That oh, that's all right. I mostly just wanted to mention the John Scott interview. I thought something came through which was very clear, and I thought, no, I've heard him speak before, and I thought that may have been one of the top things that I've picked up.
Yeah, he's terrific. I mean, he is terrific. He's a very,
Yeah.
very articulate, and everybody loves him. You know, we all love him, and he's read so. I mean, if you just heard him today, I mean, he's read so many. You know, he's read so many books, and I think he said he was a hermit for many years, and I think all he would do is just read and read and read. So I mean, when you listen to him, he has, you know, a lot to say.
Yeah. No, we might all be right at the edge of a spiritual shift, but we just have to move out of the intellect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's just my theory. Maybe there's something with lights. I won't repeat it, but if I did it I think I gave my full expression last week, so I couldn't say much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So,
all right,
but
bud.
if I got something new, I'll try and come back, or
Sure.
All right.
All right, John. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you, and I wish you a great rest of your weekend.
All right. You too.
All right. I'm going to
see ya.
Take care, brother.
Bye.
All right. So it has been a pretty busy evening. We're, like I said, I'm like, it's 9:29, so I'm about 30 minutes overtime. So, that was a busy night. And as I said, I was telling you about this, her NDE. I thought it was fascinating to think about if we're all on a ship, we've trashed our last planet. She woke up, or during her NDE, basically found that we're living like in the Matrix, reincarnating over and over until we get to the next planet and bettering ourselves, maybe because we trashed the last place. So a lot of people want John Scott. I can't watch the chat that much because I've got to stay locked in with the guests, but I kind of go back and forth, as you guys see. I don't know if you're still here, John, but if you are, lots of people want you back, so maybe we'll see you back next week. And yeah, maybe we can go longer, or maybe we make you the last guest, so then no one has to wait in line. Let all the people who want to come on go first, and then we'll let John be last. And then we can do that. And we can do something like that. That's an idea. So those are the next two NDEs. Tomorrow is going to be a ex-British gangster. I guess you could say that. Yeah, he was basically a gangster, and he turned his life around after his NDE. So I hope you will enjoy that one. And then the next one is the one I've been speaking about. And that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for coming and sharing and watching, and thank you guys for watching all the videos besides being here. We appreciate you. We love you guys. We are thankful for you, and we wish you peace, love, happiness, and joy, and and all your dreams to come true. So have a great weekend. And I hope to see you back. I don't see you all face to face, unfortunately. I just see my face to your chat name, face to screen name. But I hope to see you all again next week. Have a great week. Good night. We love you. God bless you.